Tired of the Karina is prettier than winter or Karina should be the visual of Espa dispute. At the end of the day it doesn't matter, they both fit the KBS and SM decided they wanted winter to be the visual. Karina is already the center and FOTG she doesn't need the title. It's such a stupid thing to argue about anyway. It's not like Karina isn't basically treated as the visual anyway. I think people are trying to overhype Billie and it isn't working. Billie have nice songs, don't get me wrong, but some of the fans are kinda overdoing it. Ring My Bell was mid. Jingamingeo was way too popular for what it was. I don't care what anyone says about that. I feel like people don't want them to fall behind in popularity and so they keep overhyping the songs. I get it, but I honestly think their songs are good but nothing special. Kinda feels like they are trying to appeal to a certain audience now. Some 4th gen stans get mad when you say 4th gen aren't on the same level as 3rd, but in reality it's the truth. The music just isn't slapping the way it was when 3rd gen were in their prime. You can't expect people to not talk about the very noticeable decline. 4th gen groups are lacking in terms of music quality. Red Velvet do have good chemistry and good stage presence. It feels like people find any excuse to hate on Red Velvet. It's so ridiculous. Most of the time these people don't even stan Red Velvet or are casual listeners. In reality you should stay off stan Twitter and stop regurgitating what everyone else is saying. Because they aren't acting cute every 30 seconds or because they are like actual friends who sometimes make it known when they are mad at one another, and it's the same thing with their stage presence. Their stage presence is just fine, y'all just are trying to find a drag since you don't really have anything to say. The drag isn't dragging, you're just repeating what you're seeing everyone else bandwagon. Just because a song sells well doesn't mean they make good music or that a comeback is good. There are certain groups who will always have high album sales despite their music being mid. Fans mass buy albums and at a certain level of success you can almost always expect high album sales. Big 3 groups have had high album sales all year and most of the releases were below average. Big 3 groups are actually the perfect example of this. Stans get really reckless when it comes to album sales as if that is making their faves make better music. Half the time albums are mass brought like that they end up on the side of the road anyway. Take NCT for example. I think not having fixed positions is ridiculous. Fans already think they get to decide the members' positions at random, so all this does is cause more fighting amongst the fandom. Fans are going to decide the positions if you don't anyway, so it's pointless to not stick with something that will cause a little less friction. I've already been seeing this now that this is becoming a common trend among companies. This one actually falls more on the fans, but I'm just really tired of stans taking up for their alts when they do wrong. I'm tired of seeing stans make excuses over and over about why in 2022 idols think that it's okay to go around saying or singing the N-word. Like it's just disturbing how far stans will go to defend their faves. In 2022 there is no excuse for saying the N-word, being misogynistic, being racist and just outright disgusting. These idols are of age and know what is going on. We all have cell phones and we all see what's going on in the world. These excuses are becoming more and more pathetic. Like with Giselle for example, her fans going to great lengths to pretend as if she doesn't know better and she then apologizes for quote-unquote for getting carried away. Like, girl, be fucking serious. Don't worry, Giselle isn't the only idol who does this, so don't think I'm picking on her. She's just the most ridiculous example of fans pretending and idol doesn't know better. Giselle is a 21-year-old in 2022 who can speak English fluently, who I'm sure has social media and can see what's going on in the world and knows that word is not for her to be using. So tired of the excusing of this behavior. Maybe even 4 years ago I would be more understanding, but there is no way you don't know better in 2022. Wonyoung is not overrated. Just because you don't like her doesn't mean she's overrated. She isn't the strongest in every category, but she is a great performer. Saying she's not talented or she's overrated in terms of visuals, like, be real. It's not a crime for people to like her and find her attractive. She's successful and well liked and you just don't like it, so you really should just say that instead. Boy groups and girl groups should stop covering each other's songs. They almost always suck. The boy groups never give it the energy it needs. They always try to modify the choreography to make it look more masculine and it just looks off. And on the other hand, girl groups sometimes try to overcompensate, which just makes the performances come off as awkward. I will say there has been some exceptions, like Twice covering Taemin's move like they really devoured. But if they aren't going to do the songs justice, they should just stop.
Don't